So the Oklahoma Sooners and the Oklahoma State Cowboys aren't playing each other in football, but Brent Venables in Oklahoma still have to stuff their little brother in a locker. And the insiders across the On3 industry, a couple of them, big name guys, believe that Oklahoma is bound to take another transfer portal prospect from the Oklahoma State Cowboys. They obviously just got Kendall Daniels the other day, who is going to be a big addition for Oklahoma, especially at the cheetah position. But there's also a couple other transfer portal prospects that Oklahoma could be potentially looking at to wrap up the winter portal cycle. I say that, and yet the national championship hasn't been played, and we could still see more players enter from those teams. So what I need from you guys today is to join the discussion, jump in the comments below, give me your thoughts. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, keep the channel free, keep the content flowing. We got a bunch of recruiting content coming up here in the coming days to maybe a week. We're out here talking to recruits, trying to compile junior day lists and things like that. So just hit the subscribe button. Let me know you guys like the content. Be a part of the community. I'm going to start dropping community notes around specific guys on the recruiting trail and small updates that maybe just don't fit for a video. But today we got to talk about the bombshells that have been dropped in favor of Oklahoma to start taking another player from Oklahoma State out of the transfer portal. And if you've been living under a rock and you have not caught the news today, that is going to be a Jeff Roberson, who is a 6'2", 225-pound linebacker. And it's interesting. This is another kid originally hailing from the state of Oklahoma, coming from Choctaw. Remember, Kendall Daniels was from Beggs, Oklahoma. But the big thing here is, if you're Oklahoma, you're now taking another player from Oklahoma State. But little brother and Okie Light will try to tell you that these guys didn't make an impact. They're not a big deal for them, not big losses. It's just not true. Look at what Jeff Roberson, who is a senior with one more year of eligibility, could provide for Oklahoma. Last season, 58 total tackles, 42 solos, 3 sacks, 1 interception. This is a guy that you would potentially look at backing up Kobe McKenzie. But of course, we always like to go look at the PFF grades, right? Because the PFF grades tell us maybe a little bit more about the player beyond the stats, right? So an okay coverage guy in at 62.2, not great at all, but it's okay. It's okay. Pass rush 54.5, so definitely not the kind of guy like Kendall Daniels, but a 61.3 tackling grade, a 53.7 run defensive grade, and a 56.4 overall defensive grade. Again, not a guy that's starting for you, but a guy that I think provides significant depth. And if you look at missed tackles from guys on the team, one of the worst linebackers in that category was Jaren Kanak last year. He does not have the amount of missed tackles compared to Jaren Kanak, and that's thanks to Popo over there. So thanks for that stat. That was an interesting one. So Jeff Roberson getting the prediction from Steve Wiltfong, but also getting the prediction from Pete Nakos. So you obviously have two national On3 recruiting and transfer portal reporters that think the Oklahoma Sooners are going to take another player from Oklahoma State. So interesting there. We'll have to watch, see what happens with Jeff Roberson and if the Oklahoma Sooners can get him. But another name that's been thrown around, and it's somebody we really haven't covered because I just don't think it's going to happen, especially after you saw him put out his top 5 and Oklahoma wasn't in there. But it's Thaddeus Dixon at the cornerback position, 6'1", 186 pounds. A lot of people are looking for answers, especially after Ethan O'Connor has committed to the Miami Hurricanes. And this guy last year was excellent in coverage. I mean, 10 pass breakups, 1 interception. You had a total of 26 solos. Like, if Oklahoma wanted to circle back around here and try to get involved with him, it would be an interesting pickup if Oklahoma could do that. I just don't know if they can. A guy, though, that I'm watching that I think Oklahoma could try to go after is a guy by the name of Brandon, I believe it's pronounced Cece. He's a sophomore. He's 6 foot, 182 pounds. So I wish he was a little bit taller. I wish he had a little bit more of that size. If you're an Oklahoma fan, that's something that we talk about all the time, right? Something Oklahoma needs to do better at recruiting. And they also need to go out there in the portal and try to get his size at this position, because in the SEC, you are playing those lengthy wide receivers. So this guy comes in at 6 foot, 182 pounds, is a sophomore. So he'll be a junior next year. So he'll have one more year of eligibility. This past season, though, 15 solo tackles, 5 pass breakups. Last year, he had an interception, did not have one this year. But this one would be an interesting pickup for Oklahoma if Jay Valai and Brent Venables wanted to circle back around here. They're going to have to find another cornerback. It's not like that this is just kind of like a want, not a need. They do need to go get another guy, whether it's for depth purposes or a guy that can come out there and actually start and be a guy like maybe Des Malone, where if Gentry goes down with an injury or takes a little bit longer to come back, maybe that person can step in. But as you can see per PFF, like, this guy graded out tremendously in tackling, 84.3, 78.5 in run defense, 73 point overall in the defensive grade, and a 70.5 in coverage. So this is a guy, like, I feel like if you get him, you're interested, because I think he just provides some of that production that you would need, and it's really good, solid production in a conference in the ACC where they still have decent wide receivers that you have to be able to cover. Now, lastly on the list, and we briefly talked about him yesterday, but someone that Oklahoma, you're hearing a lot of scuttlebutt about with Oklahoma, is Owen Waffle. It's 6'2.5", 290 pounds. I believe he's a little bit more than that now since he's been in college. Originally came out of high school as the 445th ranked national player, 4-star guy. This is a guy that Oklahoma did circle around in the class, but the important thing here to remember is Oklahoma only took one defensive lineman in this recruiting cycle. And although it's not like terrible, like gonna hurt you and kill you, it's not ideal. I think you want to have another young defensive lineman, interior guy in that room, somebody that you can develop. And Owen Waffle would be a great project for Oklahoma. I think it's a guy that he could see the field next year, but he's not going to be like David Stone or Jaden Jackson, where he's just seeing a ton of snaps, right? David Stone didn't see a super amount of time, but I don't think he'd see the level that David Stone saw. And then he's got a younger brother here in the 26th class, and Luke Waffle, that Oklahoma would also be interested in. So you look at what he could provide Oklahoma. I mean, he's, as Brian Don Rich wrote up down here, he's got great work ethic. He's strong, physical, hard-nosed player, has a really good bend. So maybe he would be an option. I definitely believe this is a guy that they will try to get on campus if he has not already. Remember, some of these visits happen and we just don't know. So Owen Waffle is the guy that if you're an Oklahoma fan, you definitely want to be paying attention to, because I think he could be somebody that blossoms underneath Todd Bates if it's somebody that they want to pursue. So Sooner Nation, I want to hear from y'all. Join the discussion. Jump in the comments below. Give me your thoughts. And if you guys have not already, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button.